in Ferguson are at an all-time high as police continue to search for suspects involved in the shooting of 2 police officers.
And City College students had a chance to grab a cup of joe with the ones who protect our campus.
One state is stirring up controversy after a bill passes that would bring back an old world form of execution. Good evening. Good evening and welcome to this edition of Newscene. I'm Holly Bridges.
And I'm KERRI Bryant. Thank you for joining us.
Running high in Ferguson, Missouri again following the shooting of 2 police officers Wednesday night. The shooting comes after a report exposing the police department's flawed tactics. Emerald Campos is live with more. Emerald?
The 2 police officers were standing guard during a demonstration when bullets began to fly. One officer was shot in the face while the other was injured in the shoulder. So far, no suspects have been arrested. Attorney General Eric Holder addressed the attack during a press conference Thursday, describing the attacker as a punk.
What happened last night was a pure ambush. This was not someone trying to bring healing to Ferguson.
Witnesses say the shots were fired from a hill overlooking the protests, but protesters are condemning the actions of the shooter, saying they were there for a non-violent demonstration. The attack comes just days after a string of resignations from within the Ferguson Police Department. Among those resignations are the police chief Thomas Jackson's and the city manager. We spoke to San Diego Police Sergeant Diana Madero about how our community is keeping calm despite the unrest in Ferguson.
I come to work, and that's my number one goal that day is to keep the community that I work for safe and go home safely. Those are my 2 goals in the day.
The 2 injured police officers, by the way, are not part of the Ferguson Police Department. Both officers were treated and released from the hospital. Police have questioned at least 3 people, but no arrests have been made. KERRI and Holly, back to you at the desk.
Thank you. Communities across the country are trying to build better relationships with law enforcement. Yesterday, students, faculty, and staff at City College were able to mix and mingle with police at their annual Coffee with a Cop event. City College police were in full force, armed with smiles and plenty of cups of coffee to go around for their community outreach Coffee with Cops event. Campus police handed out coffee and cookies to students and talked one-on-one with people and addressed any concerns they had.
I love doing events like this. It's the public to see a different side of us that they don't normally get to see.
The nationwide program is held a few times a year on the City College campus. The comfortable setting and interaction with cops helps people get to know their officers, and with the recent sexual battery incident on campus, helps put students' minds at ease.
We actually right now we have a few questions right now. We're gonna just go and ask them some concerns that we have and some issues that we want to see if they can help us or give us an idea of what to do in certain situations. Officers
offered proper protocol and advice to take if faced with an emergency and fielded any other questions asked of them.
Well, first of all, what I would tell you to do is to program our dispatch number into your phone. I mean, there are 72 call boxes on campus, and it's good to know where they are. So as you're walking around campus, take a mental note of where certain call boxes are.
Our job as college police officers is providing safety and top-notch service to our community and to their needs. That's our reason for even existing here.
Coffee with a Cop was a success on a nice, peaceful morning for everyone involved at the Coffee with a Cop meet and greet. Campus police host these coffee chats several times throughout the year.
According to autopsy results, the unarmed teen killed by police last week was shot in the head at least once. 19-year-old Tony Robinson was killed by a police officer inside his apartment last week. Robinson allegedly punched Officer Matt Kenny in the head. After the struggle, Kenny shot Robinson at least 3 times. Investigators found audio tapes and documents indicating he may have been suffering from psychological problems. The Wisconsin Division of Criminal Investigation is leading the probe into the shooting.
And the former chapter of Sigma Alpha Epsilon that was knocked out of the University of Oklahoma is planning legal action. After a racial video of the fraternity went viral, it has been nothing but a downward spiral for the group. The 2 members who were seen chanting the racial slurs have apologized sincerely and have since hired high-profile attorney Stephen Jones to represent them. The decision to hire Jones came after an emergency meeting held by the local SAE members and alumni. The group is looking at all options as far as litigation. And Utah may be bringing back the firing squad as a form of execution. The state Senate approved a bill this week that would make Utah the only state to have this option. The measure was brought on due to problems acquiring drugs used in lethal injections.
And if we get within 30 days of an execution and we don't have the drug cocktail, it would allow us to revert back to the firing squad.
Under the bill, the firing squad would only be used if the drugs used in lethal injections are not available. The firing squad was legal in Utah until 2004.
New developments emerge in the murder trial of the man accused of being one of the Boston Marathon bombers. A man who survived a carjacking testified he recognized the defendant as one of the bombers. Zuhar Sarneev is on trial for the murders of the 3 people in connection with the bombing in Boston. The explosion had killed 2 people and injured more than 260 others. Sarneev is accused of working with his brother to set off those bombs and killing an MIT security officer. His brother was killed by authorities during a shootout, and the younger brother faces the death penalty if convicted.
And the Secret Service makes headlines again as 2 senior agents crashed a car into the White House. And this went into the barricade on March 4th. The 2 agents, including the second in charge of President Obama's personal security detail, Mark Connolly, were driving a government car back to the White House after attending a party held in honor of the retirement of spokesman Ed Donovan. The Department of Homeland Security is investigating the incident after reports indicate the officers were under the influence of alcohol. The agents have been reassigned to non-operational positions.
And controversy over the emails of former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton continues to grow. This morning, the House Oversight Committee asked Clinton for electronic copies of her emails. Clinton stated she and her lawyer extensively went through her email accounts to sort personal from business, saying all her personal emails included matters like yoga schedules, family vacations, and planning her daughter's wedding. Speculators are concerned with Hillary sorting her emails herself. The controversy comes up just weeks before Clinton is expected to announce her 2016 White House bid.
And ISIS has released a graphic new video that appears to show a young child executing an Israeli man. The man is 19-year-old Muhammad Musallam. In the video, you can see an adult male and a young child who appear to be the executioner because of tricky editing. It is unclear if the child actually pulls the trigger. ISIS claims he was an Israeli spy. His father said he was lured to join ISIS with promises of money and women.
Muhammad told me and his brother that ISIS took him. They sent him money through the Western Union. They said you will have girls, money, cars, villas, paradise. But after he finished his training and spent time, and after he trained and went to Deir Azur, he discovered that there is nothing.
Musallam's family says their son was an Israeli firefighter before joining the terror group. French officials claim the 2 ISIS members, including the child, are French citizens. ISIS has officially accepted a pledge of allegiance from the West African terror group Boko Haram. In an audio recording released by ISIS, they say the caliphate has spread to West Africa. Boko Haram is believed to have killed 10,000 people last year alone. The fight against the group has escalated. An African Union summit recently agreed to send more than 8,000 troops to fight Boko Haram.
A new case of Ebola is present in the United States. A U.S. employee for the healthcare department tested positive for the Ebola virus while he was in Sierra Leone. The physicians at the facility in Maryland have determined that the patient's condition is serious. This will be the 11th person with the deadly virus treated inside the country. And the sex offender who allegedly murdered his adoptive mother was found dead inside his pickup truck on Tuesday morning. 46-year-old Joseph Stuber, who reportedly beat the 83-year-old woman to death, was found near Del Mar in his Toyota Tacoma with his face wrapped in an unknown material. Evidence suggests he committed suicide by suffocating himself. The case is still under investigation.
And police are still investigating the mystery behind the badly decomposed body found along the U.S.-Mexico border. Found in a drainage canal, the gruesome discovery was made by U.S. Border Patrol agents near the San Ysidro port of entry on Tuesday. Detectives were immediately called to the scene, but were unable to determine the cause of death or identify the man. The San Diego County Medical Examiner will conduct an autopsy this week.
And trial began Tuesday for the teenager accused of setting the devastating Campos fires last May. Prosecutors are accusing the defendant of deliberately setting 2 separate fires in their backyard. Officials estimated the damage of the Campos fire to be around $28 million. If convicted, the teen could face up to 13 years in custody. And a local company is providing healthy meals to cancer patients. We will have the story after the break. And when we return, we'll tell you what's going on with the Chargers stadium plans.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout.
Tip me over and pour me out. Oh. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Cheers.
Take time to be a dad today.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish. In your face, in your face.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
We all have seen warnings on alcohol and cigarette containers. Well, soon there could be similar labels displayed on soda cans. On Tuesday, San Francisco officials proposed legislation to require such labels. The warning would claim that drinking soda with added sugar contributes to obesity, diabetes, and tooth decay. Roger Salazar of the California beverage industry disagrees with the cautionary labels, saying it does nothing to improve people's health. City supervisors also want to ban sugary drink advertisements on public property.
And when a close friend or loved one is diagnosed with cancer, the diagnosis is often followed by eating healthier. A nonprofit here in San Diego is helping cancer patients do just that. Brittany Ford has the story.
In many cases, patients undergoing chemotherapy don't have the energy to cook, let alone the knowledge in what foods can support optimal health and recovery. Chef KERRI Allen and his nonprofit Deliciousness does just that. With the motto that food is fuel, his catering company delivers meals to chemotherapy patients that are made to help recovery. Now, it's meals like these that Chef Allen prepares that contain ingredients like kale that help chemotherapy patients the most because it's a superfood. Chef Allen's meals are designed to complement the harsh symptoms that follow treatment, boosting patients' immune system, energy levels, and overall quality of life. And he does it just out of the goodness of helping others.
I always told myself I want to be a blessing to people, and so I found that might be like the best way to do so.
And a blessing he has been to breast cancer patients like MARCY.
If it wasn't for the deliveries, I don't know what I would do. It's really important to have somebody like Gary, bring you something to eat, because other than that, you can't cook.
And it's the bad days after therapy, MARCY explains, that the food matters the most.
Even though I don't feel good those days, I'm still able to eat, and the fact that they taste good and they're good for you, just makes all the difference in the world.
The combination of providing healthy meals and the joy of helping others is what has made the nonprofit truly what it is. This is Brittany Ford reporting for Newscene.
Deliciousness will deliver 6 meals a week for 6 weeks to current patients undergoing chemotherapy, radiation, or hormone therapy. And all eyes are on Apple again this week as the company unveiled another new product. Consumers must have an iPhone in order for the watch to work. Users can make and receive calls, texts, emails, and also make use of Siri. Apple claims the device will last 18 hours on a full charge, but Forrester Research believes the battery life will be more like 10 to 12 hours with heavy use. There are 3 versions of the watch. Pricing ranges from $349 to over $10,000. Apple Watch will be available starting on April 24th. Pre-orders begin on April 10th.
And a solar-powered aircraft has completed the second leg of its quest to be the first plane to fly around the world, fueled only by the sun's rays. Solar Impulse 2 landed in India today, flying in from Oman. The solar-powered plane will continue on to Myanmar, China, and the U.S. Solar Impulse's 236-foot wingspan makes it wider than a Boeing 747, but it weighs only 2.5 tons. That's lighter than a large SUV. 2 Swiss pilots plan to spend a total of 500 hours behind the controls during the 5-month-long trip.
And the new stadium in Los Angeles area is one step closer to getting approved. Supporters have started a petition to get as many as 8,000 signatures. The Carson City Council will then either approve or project or ask a decision to be made by the voters. The $1.7 billion project could be the new home for both the San Diego Chargers and the Oakland Raiders. The city has a total of 180 days to get all signatures. And here at home, all locations have finally been picked for the new Chargers Stadium. The San Diego Stadium Adversary Group formally announced it has chosen Mission Valley location. The almost $1.5 billion stadium will house the Chargers, SDSU Aztecs, 2 College Bowl games, and more. Now the group has to find a way to finance the new stadium. Adam Day, head of the task force, says the group should have a decision made by the middle of May.
And now the latest news from the world of sports. We join Daniel Wright. What's the scoop, Dan?
It's been a busy week in the NFL as teams make moves to improve their rosters. No matter where the Chargers call home this season, Ryan Matthews will not be a part of it. The former first-round pick in the 2010 draft was released. Matthews signed a 3-year deal with the Philadelphia Eagles worth $11.5 million. The defending Super Bowl champion Patriots took a hit to their defense when defensive linebacker Akeem Ayers signed a 2-year deal with the St. Louis Rams. New England did manage to re-sign wide receiver Danny Amendola. The 29-year-old inked a 3-year deal worth $2.75 million. The New Orleans Saints lost Drew Brees' target tight end Jimmy Graham. They traded guard Ben Grubbs to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Bears nabbed ex-wide receiver of the Chargers, Eddie Royal, and New York Giants corner Atrell Roll for veteran leadership for defense. The Detroit Pistons and league-leading Golden State Warriors balled last night. Roll the highlights. We'll pick it up with 10:41 left, 79-76 Golden State, when Joey Meeks hits a 3 to tie the game at 79. Skip forward to 6:53 left. The Golden State up 85-83 when Klay Thomas banks in a 3 to put the Warriors up by 5. Another force of turnover, and Stephon Curry feeds Thomas for the floater. Coming up right here, and boom, there it is there. Thompson put up 27 points and lead the Warriors to their 5th straight win to Portland, where the Trailblazers, excuse me, I'm technical difficulties right now. There we go. Where the Trailblazers would host the red-hot Houston Rockets. Second quarter, watch Josh Smith drive and dunk over Chris Kaman. Skip to the 4th quarter. Little Marcus Aldridge pump fakes, draws contact, and hits the jumper for the 1. And 11-101-100. Rockets lead Trailblazers ball when Corey Brewer steals the ball from Damian Lillard and throws down the dunk. And that's about all we're going to have time for in sports this week. Thank you, and welcome back, Carl Kreska. Good to see you. Do your thing.
March Madness is finally here, huh?
San Diego is getting ready for St. Patrick's Day. Stay tuned to see how you can participate.
No more, it's none of my business.
No more, he didn't mean it.
No more, not my problem.
No more, she was flirting with him.
No more, she was asking for it.
No more, boys will be boys.
No more, I'll say something next time.
No more bystanding.
No more ignorance.
No more excuses.
No more.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
To get in the way before it happens.
To get a friend home safe.
And to not blame the victim.
It's on us.
To look out for each other.
To not look the other way.
It's on us to stand up.
To step in.
To take responsibility.
It's on us, all of us,
to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Welcome back. It's time to check in with entertainment. Roxana Paul has the latest.
Thank you. Univision host Rodner Figueroa has been fired after saying that Michelle Obama, quote, looks like she's from the cast of Planet of the Apes. The host made the remarks during his live segment on the entertainment news show El Gordo y la Flaca. Univision called Figueroa's comments, quote, completely reprehensible and in no way reflect the values or opinions of Univision, end quote. Figueroa apologized to the First Lady in an open letter that has gone viral, saying in part, quote, there is no excuse for a professional like me to do these types of comments that can be interpreted as offensive and racist in such a volatile times in our country, end quote. Figueroa won a Daytime Emmy Award in 2014. He has been with the network for 17 years. Johnny Depp flew back to Los Angeles after injuring his right hand while on set for the 5th franchise, Pirates of the Caribbean. Rumors say Depp broke his right wrist while going go-karting on a private track at 5-time MotoGP world champion Mick Doohan's residence. The 51-year-old actor was smiling and waving at fans while making his way into the plane. The production of the film is expected to be minimally affected by the star's absence. The release date of the movie remains unchanged. Padres tickets are selling fast, and an announcement by a legendary rock band may make Petco Park the place to be this summer. The Rolling Stones will be coming to Petco in late May. An official date has not been set, but it will be likely 24th of May. The band was the first music act to perform at Petco Park back in 2005 when they performed a sold-out show for their A Big Bigger Bang tour. The city is getting ready for one of the largest single-day events in San Diego. The St. Patrick's Day festivities take place tomorrow morning in downtown. With more than 120 parade entries and thousands in attendance, the festival is an event for the entire family. Food and drinks, as well as craft booths, will be open during the event. For the little ones, the festival offers an authentic Celtic village and kids zone full of games, rides, face painting, llamas, and much more. Authentic fighting demonstrations, as well as Irish dance, song, crafts, and storytelling will entertain the public. The festival is free to the public. Lots of things happening in San Diego this weekend. The Latin Film Festival celebrates its 22nd anniversary. Also, the Electronic Music Festival Crossed kicks off tomorrow in downtown. I'll send it back to you, ladies.
Thank you so much, Roxana. Now, will this warm weather last throughout the weekend? Nate Holmes has our weather forecast coming up next.
Listen to me. I am captain of the track team. And if I'm late,
She doesn't really think she's going to get out of here, does she?
be nice. She's new. Hello, is anyone there? Ugh!
Wow. Even from our standards, you look awful.
Oh, sweetie, what happened? Me? My friend Becky got to talk to this super cute boy, and I tried to act like I wasn't jealous, but I so totally was. And then out of nowhere, this concrete barrier just popped up. Maybe it was a semi.
You mean you were driving?
Yeah. I mean, I know the whole eyes on the road thing, but this was a super important text. Maybe you have to know, Becky.
Texting? Great.
But it was only like 5 seconds, and I'm a really, really fast texter, so it wasn't even a big deal. Actually, has she texted me back yet? Wow, I get like no bars in this place. I wonder if they have Wi-Fi here.
Temperatures are on the rise and San Diego is in store for a warm weekend. Nate Holmes is here with our weather update. What's up, Nate?
Thank you, ladies. Yes, it's going to be an awesome weekend here in San Diego County. Now, I did want to let you know that you may experience some high winds earlier this morning. We did have a high wind advisory in our county. We had some Santa Ana winds roll through the county, winds at up to 30 miles per hour. But that was from this morning to about noon. So since then, it has been cleared. We won't be seeing any of those winds later on today or through the weekend. Now, so we will be looking at our weekend forecast tonight. All across the board, it's going to be looking amazing. We're going to start on the East Coast, New York. We're looking at 40, Washington 46, Heading down to Jackson 64. Now the East Coast is looking pretty good, especially considering that we had some major snowstorms throughout the nation earlier in the past couple weeks. So moving across, heading east, Dallas 52 looking amazing. Heading to Las Vegas now 58. Now I did want to mention that our San Diego State Aztecs will be in Las Vegas tonight playing against Colorado State. So they won't be experiencing that hot Las Vegas weather. It's 58 degrees. So inside the arena should be perfect. So Aztecs bring home that win. Just wanted to put that little plug in there for my Aztecs. Alrighty, in 53, we're looking at 53 in Seattle, San Francisco 55, Los Angeles 62 for tonight. So you can pretty much tell where our San Diego weather is coming in. Now let's get a look for tomorrow. Pretty good all across the board as well. Seattle 55, 76 San Francisco, 92 in Los Angeles. Now we won't get as hot in here in San Diego County, but just in our desert areas we'll get up to the low 90s, high 80s. But it is going to be a great weekend all across the board. Phoenix 88, Dallas we're looking at 64, Jacksonville 84. Even up east we're looking at Boston 54, New York 52, Washington 65. So we're looking at great wet weather all across the nation. No thunderstorms, no snowstorms. We're looking pretty good all across the board. Now, I did want to mention that we do have a pollen advisory in effect in our county. Not necessarily tonight, but we will be looking at it tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday. As you can see, pollen levels are going to be very, very high. So if you are going out this weekend, I don't recommend you staying inside because it's going to be a great weekend. I do recommend if you go out though, you do want to take care of those allergies, take care of any medicine inside the house and outside the house. As you can tell, Febreze is great inside the house, gets rid of those allergens, but we just want to stay healthy. But yes, we do have high levels of pollen all throughout the county, through Monday. Now, this weekend, it's pretty amazing. Tonight, we're looking at 61 degrees. Earlier today, we were looking at 86. Pretty good. Clear skies, winds coming from the northeast at 8 miles per hour. Big difference compared to the fact that where we were earlier this morning at 30 miles per hour. Saturday, 86, mostly sunny. Sunday, 85, partly cloudy. Not as great, but it's still going to be a great weekend. Monday, heading back to work, 84, 62, and it's going to be mostly sunny. So overall, it's going to be a great weekend. Ladies, send it back to you.
Warm weather. Now, yesterday, Will Ferrell showed that he could have had a career in baseball. The comedian traveled to 5 Arizona ballparks to film an HBO special to raise money for cancer charities. Ferrell not only showed off his arm at center field, but also set a record playing all 9 positions in one game, making his departure in a helicopter.
Well, that's it for this edition of Newscene. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Holly Bridges.
And I'm KERRI Bryant. Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.